One thing I've noticed with the increased popularity of the internet is the tendency for things to be really built up as life-altering and exciting, or things having some problem being torn down and ripped upon. And this is such an ego-based kind of thing. There's a defense mechanism coined by Freud, which is identification, which is trying to inflate one's own sense of worth by identifying with something outside of yourself. A classic example of that would be a sports team, like, oh, I love the Lakers and they're awesome, and then also, that can be torn down too. If they don't win, then they're a bunch of bums and this is someone's fault and this person should be blamed, or whatever. The tearing up and building up and tearing down is seen all over. And the tearing down process is about superiority. The ego loves to be superior to the other. So if you build something up and then you tear it down, then this thing that's huge that you're identified with, when you tear it down, you're better than it. For example, movies and like technology products like the iPad and the new iPhone. These are all examples of things that get built up and torn down, such as a film that came out recently directed by M. Night Shyamalan, The Last Airbender. Beforehand there was a lot of anticipation, and this is going to be cool and great, and previews look awesome, and it's really exciting, and this is going to be a great thing. And then it comes out and people say it's bad, sucks, horrible, whatever. And each approach, the anticipation and the build-up and the tearing down, is an exaggeration, really. In my experience with films that are supposedly horrible or supposedly great, they're usually not that extreme of an experience. When I observe them, they're a movie. They have their story and their characters and, la-di-da. But I didn't think Avatar was that great, and I didn't think Geely was that horrible. And so the whole mechanism of building things up, tearing them down, is an attempt to escape from presence with oneself, from one's life as it is. Because the ego says your life is not good enough, it's not exciting enough, it's not adventurous enough, it's not sexy enough, or not romantic enough, it's not enough somehow. It's just lacking. So, being better than something, or identifying with something you think is going to be great, is one way to get away from yourself. But you don't have to. You can just be fine with what is. If you take an example recently of the iPad, that was something that a lot of people were excited about. And one of the things that I noticed that was occurring with that is that when people get excited about something, or they identify with something like Google or an internet browser like Firefox or whatever they identify with, they are just pawns in a corporate game in which they're doing advertising by blogging and commenting about things on the internet. They're just saving advertising dollars for the company that is creator of this product. So companies love it when you identify with things and build them up. And so with the iPad, with all the anticipation and excitement, to me it's really, you can look at it either as a large iPhone or a laptop with a touch screen that doesn't have a cover. It's not that life-altering, really, when you think about it. But people are very often looking for something to escape into, to make their life more rich. And so when there were so many people purchasing the iPad, then it's followed by the inevitable, people don't like this about it, or, recently I read about it overheating when you leave it out in the sun. And it's black so it absorbs light, and it's going to get hot. But it's like, it has a kind of parental dynamic where it's like, you want to be as powerful if you're a child, if you see yourself as a child. You want to be as powerful as mom and dad, but at the same time, you know, you have associations where they controlled you or limited you, so you want to tear them down. And that can be played out with films and TV shows, you know, different products, technology. And what I say here is simply this: keep it all in perspective. Most of these things aren't that great, and they're not that horrible, just like life. And your ego might want you to think that your life should be more great, that you should live like a celebrity, and have that level of popularity or influence. Or your ego can say that everything's horrible, and it's a constant struggle, and that you're a victim of life, and why go on because it's always tough. And these are just extremes. That's what the ego does. It tries to magnify every little thing because there's no peace there. There's no peace in the aggrandizement of some thing or event or vacation or, you know, new life experience. There's no real peace in the depressive, everything's horrible perspective either. So, one way of putting it, I guess, would be trim the extremes until you have what's left in the middle, and that'll be a little closer to reality and a little closer to peace.